All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I said me if it could flee. Me have to take away me say. Me have to take away me say. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight. Me have to take away myself. Have to take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Surely I clean where I ease. I said, yeah, I find you very hard to resist. With this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself. May I feel hide like a thief in the night. May I forget out of sight. May I feel take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize I breathe. Show the eye a clean pair of heels. I said, yeah, yeah.
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. This is just Julie Franco along with,
Flavius,
and this morning,
bright, sunny and pale.
we're going to be talking about independence. As a matter of fact, it is podcast 112 this morning.
Okay.
So we're in the century and still going.
Yes.
So, you say in your neck of the woods you have bright sunshine.
Yeah, we had it yesterday all day and it's come back out today again.
Good. Well,
Very
we
nice.
are also, seeing some bright a sunny day,
Mhm.
which is
Yes.
good. So, but we know still there's some more rain out there.
Yeah,
So
oh yeah.
we'll write that off.
That's the rain out there, but give us a little sun, get some clothes dry and all that.
Yeah, Mother Earth need both of them, sun and rain.
Oh yeah. Yeah, together we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But before we get into did you know and anything else, I want to touch upon a song. The song was given to us in the beginning of the pandemic by
Okay.
Mr. Wayne Arman.
Oh yeah.
And it's really professing to us that everything is going to be all right. We know
Right.
it's not 100%, but some people are controlling what they can control.
Yeah.
Some schools, colleges, doing their best to make sure that they keep the virus under minimum, as
At
best as
bay.
possible. Yeah.
At day the same.
Yeah, and one such college that is doing good is one named Carneal. It's
Oh.
doing good every day. They make sure that actually not every day, every week, the students them get a test, and if
Okay.
one positive is in that batch, that means
Yeah.
they gotta retest and find the person who's positive,
Yeah.
and that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do
Yeah.
it.
A good way to go, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. What's happening in your hoods right now?
I'm not hearing a lot about anything right now, except the positive cases are increasing on a daily basis,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess the new ministers are trying to get themselves together. But like I was speaking to somebody yesterday, and I was saying we heard a lot of things after the election, but everything came without timeline.
Okay.
Yeah, which is, normally at election time, people say, okay, we'll do that in the first 100 days, or we'll do that.
Oh no, never
Uh,
want to listen to me, man. Me telling us if we do the election next year.
Of course, of course.
But you was one of them who did want it come early still, remember that? You figure since Barbados had years,
No,
that it
no,
was
no,
high
no.
time for Jamaica.
Barbados was long ago, man. Just
Not
Trinidad.
Barbados, I mean Trinidad, my apology, Trinidad.
No. What I said is that over the years, history has shown that Trinidad and Tobago like to act together. For whatever reason. It didn't matter to me I'd rather it not come, but if it comes, okay, so what? Let it come. But, and what we're seeing is that after the Independence weekend, 2 weeks or so after, we had a big spike. And after the election campaign and election, we are having a huge spike now.
Well, so heads of government do for them things,
Yeah.
Well,
So I really don't know. The thing is that that's all behind us now, so we can't be worried about that. What we have to worry about now is where are we going to go from here? What do we need to do?
it will come.
The government is talking about 1.5 million people, and we have to live with it, and this and that. To me, it's like they're sounding like they're giving up, which is really bad. You need to put things in place, and you need to fight it. I need to make the people understand that whatever they're doing or not doing is not helping us. It's not helping themselves, it's not helping their family. But you go on the road and you see people walking up and down in big clusters. Nobody have on a mask, nobody doing anything.
Well, and after just put out more public health.
It's like everybody has said, okay, there's nothing we can do about it.
Well,
so
make play that tune and then we come back to your conversation, all right? We come back to it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's alright.
It's alright. It's okay. Just hang on a little bit longer, 'cause tomorrow is another day. It's alright. It's okay. Just stand firm in the face of adversity and watch them fade away, away, away. Life of a way to carry you down when the money in the bank gets shorter and the bills are coming and you're caught in between the devil and the deep blue water. I know say that when you come home my yard and the picnic of them I look them sober. So you do what you can, 'cause a man is just a man and you now make the picnic them sober. And you pray to the Father when this tribulation I go in, but remember Jonah in the belly of the whale and Daniel in the lion's den. It's alright, it's okay. Just hang on a little bit longer, 'cause tomorrow is another day. It's alright, it's okay. Just stand firm in the face of adversity and watch them fade away, away, away. I say time of
have a way to test your faith, so you got to have enough endurance. One day at a time, just keep on trying, cause time carry no insurance. No matter how the situation hard, things can only get better. Just have some faith, everything will go great, cause nothing ever lasts forever. And you pray to the Father when this tribulation I go end, but remember Jonah in the belly of the whale and Daniel in the lion's den. It's alright, it's okay. Just hang on a little bit longer, cause tomorrow is another day. It's alright, it's okay. Just stand firm in the face of adversity and watch them fade away, 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 away. It's alright, it's okay. Just hang on a little bit longer, cause tomorrow is another day. It's alright, it's okay. Just stand firm in the face of adversity and watch them fade away.
Jah, all I'm asking for is a brighter day. Just send it our way, oh Jah. Sealer. A brighter day. We're looking for a brighter day. A brighter day. Just send it come my way. Jah, why mankind so bitter? Turn them away from Lucifer. Lucifer. It's like some boy a drink devil soup for breakfast, lunch and dinner. It doesn't matter what the wicked say, the righteous will never run away. Run away. Oh, please, my car soldier, you are my guide and my protector. We're looking for a brighter day, a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. A brighter day. We're looking for a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. Two them system design a lot of youth a suffer. No succumb to the pressure, so them run and go far. No stop clap it up, now them a big time killer. And the same system melt them out like butter. Mama cry, papa ball, but it can't get better. Lifeless body lay down all over, so we have to turn we face down to the Father. And ask him for a brighter day, a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. A brighter day. We're looking for a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. Them dirty system of fraud, oh Lord. We see clear down a yard and broad. How them a treat poor people like dog, while poor people life so hard. Oh, what a pity. Why so much homeless in a them city? Lord, what a calamity. You know, sister, this a world and a pretty. So we asking for a brighter day, a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. A brighter day. We're looking for a brighter day, a brighter day. Just send it come away. A brighter day now. We're looking for a brighter day, brighter day, yeah. A brighter day now. A brighter day, brighter day, yeah.
This is your very own sports, music, and lifestyle podcast with Flavius and Franco. Welcome. Hi, this is Pam Hall, and I'm inviting you to hang out with Flavius and Franco on the Real Stuff podcast. They're such great company.
Yes, we are back. So in case you're just joining us, welcome to the Real Stuff podcast. Okay, Flavius. Flavius.
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Okay. Well, we have this morning in Did You Know?
Okay. We started on Friday, starting in the youth realm on Friday and Monday. And what we were dealing with is what is commonly called extracurricular curricular activities within schools.
Mm-hmm.
So today we are going to look at what extracurricular really is and what it brings to the table, and what the experts are saying. If it's good, or schools shouldn't have it, because what you find is in a lot of schools now, if something is not appearing in examination, they tend to shelve it. And I personally think that is retarding our education. So let's hear what is being said about it. If you could ask Arthur to do his thing for us.
Okay, Arthur, your time to shine.
Youth participation in the Eastern Caribbean. The participation of high school students in extracurricular activities is an issue of increasing interest in much of the developed world. There is a growing consensus that youth participation in such activities has beneficial effects on many facets of development. Using data collected from 4 countries in the Eastern Caribbean, this paper, based on a UNICEF-sponsored project, seeks to fill this gap. The study found that student involvement in extracurricular activities was relatively high in most of the countries, but male participation overwhelmingly took the form of sports. Despite the benefits of sporting involvement, it is argued that attention must also be paid to those activities that mirror adult civic involvement. Participation among male students in particular, in student councils, was low. School administrations must therefore raise the profile of these councils, as they represent the most viable option for effective, practical citizenship education in the Caribbean. The neglect of extracurricular activities. January 28, 2018, Education Corner, features, columnist's comments off, by Alato Sam. What it means to be an educated person has been widely debated on a highly philosophical level. This debate has deep implications for our education system in Guyana, and our prevailing educational practices. Historically, the focus of education was on literacy, numeracy, and the technical and vocational pursuits regarded as critical to the narrow colonial priorities of the day. Post-independence reforms moved us away from those realities, and schools endeavored to provide broad-based educational experiences for students. This was grounded in an appreciation of the importance of the holistic development of the child. Long-standing education theories have pointed to the benefit of this as an essential aspect of effective education, emphasizing balance and well-rounded development. Even further, it has been argued that we do our children a disservice by not addressing the multiplicity of developmental needs they require, well beyond the cognitive dimension. Given the nature of many of these undertakings at the core of such development, they were widely referred to as enrichment or extracurricular activities. It could be this characterization that might have contributed in some measure to individuals regarding them as being less important to the development of our children, and ultimately their neglect within the system. An examination of the status quo in schools across the country would reveal a notable shift away from all non-academic pursuits. Simply put, if it will not appear on an examination, it is virtually non-existent or ascribed little value in our schools. This dangerous practice only serves to undermine the developmental potential of our children, and in turn significantly limits the scope of our development as a nation. Over time, our society can only reflect what our schools produce. Hence, there is a great need to place emphasis on extracurricular pursuits if we want rounded citizens able to contribute to and participate in all facets of our society. The conspicuous absence of extracurricular activities in our schools today has occurred gradually over the last few decades. The greater the importance placed on examinations and academic qualifications, the more the other holistic development dimensions have suffered. Schools have struggled to maintain a balance in the face of limited human and material resources required to sustain these enrichment programs. It must be noted that where they are offered, the pressure placed on students to pass examinations have meant that lessons now take priority over such engagements and few participate. Traditionally, many extracurricular activities were conducted after school, but today it is not uncommon to find schools fully deserted a few minutes after the final bell. As such, schools now have sporadic activities organized around specific events on our school's academic calendar, matrimony or schools, sports for example, which are wholly inadequate in creating any sustained interest or higher levels of competence in these areas. Few schools have structured, year-round extracurricular programs for students. Where they do exist, teachers lament the lack of interest on the part of parents to have students participate, particularly in grades related to national or regional assessments. Even further, the structural and institutional arrangements within our society do not place emphasis and value on these areas of pursuit. Few opportunities exist for viable career options in non-academic areas. The arts and sports, for example, have been relegated to the lower levels on the list of serious career options in Guyana. There are no scholarships, defined pathways and no developed industries in these dimensions. There is an entire body of potential pathways that remain untapped and undervalued within our national structures. Key lessons could be learned from our sister nations within the Caribbean, that have well-defined industries developed around the areas we now openly neglect. As a result, few students have been specializing in these areas, which compounds the problem of the absence of the requisite human resources to sustain these aspects of the education system. Where opportunities do exist for specialization, such as CSEC options in theater arts, music, visual arts, physical education, and sports, the numbers reveal a telling tale of neglect. In 2016, one student in the entire country wrote music at the CSEC level. Attempts to reintroduce and re-emphasize the importance of these aspects of education have been thwarted by the sheer absence of competent instructors as a result of years of neglect. It is vital that the Cyril Potter College of Education begins to provide opportunities for teachers to specialize in these areas. Although some courses have been advertised, they have not yet commenced. In addition, linkages need to be formed with other relevant institutions like the Borough's School of Art, music schools and governmental and private sports entities to resource and train various cohorts of teachers to effectively reintegrate these areas into the school's programs. Given the absence of males in the education system, this must be recognized as an avenue through which some males are reintroduced to education. Key decisions will have to be made as to which components need to fully integrate into the programs of schools and which should adopt other forms. A range of relevant areas under the broad umbrella of enrichment can be reintroduced to schools in the form of clubs and other semi-structured arrangements. As a stopgap measure, resource persons with the requisite skill sets could be vetted and co-opted to provide the required guidance for our students. Attention must also be given to the structural elements that will support these undertakings within our society. Despite the interest, young people will be dissuaded from specializing in these areas if no opportunities for viable careers exist within the wider society. A conversation should commence engaging students, parents and the general public in discussions regarding the importance of extracurricular activities in the proper development of our children. It must be established that these areas of the educational program are not to be viewed as separate from, and less important than, other more academic pursuits. These elements speak to the core of what a proper education must be about. Research has long established that the neglect of key dimensions of the child's all-round development limits the attainment of his or her full potential. Furthermore, it has been highlighted that without balance even the cognitive domain can be hampered. The infusion of these aspects of the educational experience should therefore not be regarded as optional, but essential to the delivery of quality education and given the attention it deserves. Effective education demands a balance that can only serve to improve the quality of life for all of our children and our nation by extension. I am Arthur Kaiser, reading today's Did You Know?
This is your very own sports, music, and lifestyle podcast with Flavius and Franco. Welcome.
Yes, we are back. We are back.
Yes, folks. As you heard about the extracurricular activities, my opinion is that parents must be an integral part of the process of their child. I mean by that, you need to be a part of the PTA. You need to attend meetings. And you need to vet the extracurricular, or if they are stopping some, you have a say into what happens. Because kids, you're in the classroom and they learn so much in the classroom. But there's a whole world of stuff out there that they can learn from the extracurricular activity that they participate in. I think me personally, it served me in my life extremely well. And I know a lot of people that it served very well. So, it's part of the education process. It's not just going and you're reading a textbook and you do an exam or whatever. Some things are not for exam, but they are life. You learn life skills that you need to survive when they become adults. So, you need to pay good attention to what happens. And if your school have extracurricular activities, the importance of them, which ones your kids like, things like that. And you speak to the headmaster or the teachers involved, and you get them involved in something. Because there's a lot of activities that go on in schools, a lot of good stuff, lot of clubs that are formed, that are employment based in the sense that you learn skills that you need when you hit the working world, and innovation and all that. It's a lot of stuff that can be done. So please look into it seriously. So that's your Did You Know for today. Hope you enjoyed it.
Brought to you courtesy of Slowly Jamaica, Uniquely Caribbean.
I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you to my home to be with me forever. I really love you, baby. Really love you, baby. Want you forever. Really love you, baby. Really want you, baby. I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you to my home to be with me forever. I really love you, baby. Really love you, baby. Want you forever. Really love you, baby. Really want you, baby. Love I will give you is so powerful, so special. Under your skin it will flow through your veins. My love's insane. This love I give, I just can't stop. I just can't stop. It's in your face, even when you turn your back. And just like a magnifying glass, the heat that I transmit will melt your heart. Oh, I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you to my home to be with me forever. Really love you, baby. Really love you, want you forever and ever. Really want you, baby. Really want you, baby. Whoa, whoa. Ooh, forever and ever. Yeah, yeah. I know you're wondering why my love is so strong. It's 'cause I see something in you pushing me on. The day you try to chase my love away is when you know my love was meant to stay. This love I give, I just can't stop. It's in your face, oh yeah. When you turn your back, I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you home with me forever. Oh, really want you, baby. Really love you, baby. Want you forever. Ever. Really want you, baby. Really want you, baby. Love
keep, I just can't stop.
I just can't stop.
It's in your face, even when you turn your back. Hey, it's just like a magnifying glass. Hey, the heat that I transmit will melt your heart. Hey, I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you home, to be with me forever, yeah.
Oh mama, oh mama, oh mama, keep on loving me so bad, boy. I met a boy the other day, got the sweetest loving ever come my way. Do anything I say when he loves me this way. The only thing I say is, oh mama, keep on loving me so bad, boy. Oh mama, keep on loving me so bad, boy. You got bad boy in it, so wonderful. You got bad boy in it, so wonderful. Bad boy, so wonderful. All I can say is, oh mama, keep on loving me so bad, boy. Oh mama, keep on loving me so bad, boy. You hit me with it, ton, dee ton of breeze. Man, you better run, come, cause I need a fix. Man, you better run, come, cause I need a fix. I feel it, ay, 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 ay. Got the sweetest loving ever come my way. Do anything I say, but when he loves me this way, the only thing I say is, oh mama, oh mama, oh mama, keep on loving me so bad. And you hit me with it, ton, dee on a breeze. Man, you better run, come, cause I need a fix. Man, you better run, come, cause I need a fix. Now sing it, ay, 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 ay. Ooh, me so bad, boy. Oh mama, keep on loving me so bad, boy. Oh mama, keep on loving me so bad, boy. Oh mama, oh mama, oh mama, keep on loving me so bad, boy. Ooh, me so bad, boy. Ooh, me so bad, boy. Ooh, me so bad, boy.
This is your very own sports, music, and lifestyle podcast with Flavius and Franco. Welcome.
Yes, my listeners, welcome again. Flavius, so this morning we have a hot topic of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, very hot topic. Very, very, very hot topic.
And it's about what, the Commonwealth, independence.
It's about where we are now and how we got there, and where we are going, or where we should go. because with the call by Barbados or the announcement by Barbados that they're going to seek to leave the monarch and become a republic. I just want to touch on a few things, so we can understand where we are and where we should be going.
Okay.
Let me start out this way. Let me say that my research has shown that, and this was not conveyed, I think, when Jamaica and Trinidad became independent. Firstly, we have to go a little earlier than that. When the Caribbean formed what was the West Indies Federation. Now, I got the impression that that was something that the Caribbean countries wanted and set out to do. Only learning now that that was never the case. The Federation came about because the British was looking a way to manage its colonies in the Caribbean after slavery, and they were getting a kind of out of hand, because people want to rule themselves, they want certain things. So the British say, oh, okay, give them the mind of us. So they encouraged them to form this federation, which was done. Now, that was a brilliant idea, Brilliant idea. But some other brilliant British person realized that it was a brilliant idea, but not for England, not for Britain. It was for the Caribbean. So they had to dismantle it sooner than later, quickly. Because if that take root and the Caribbean becomes strong as one nation, then it will be much harder to manage and govern. So what they did, just like when they formed the Federation, they inveigled Jamaica and Trinidad to pull out, saying that, you can be your own independent country. And Trinidad and Jamaica were the biggest countries and the leaders of the Federation. So if they pull out, everything will fall flat on its face. And what they wanted, so everybody would be back in line. So they did. And you can see the proximity when these things happen, Because Jamaica independence was 6th of August and the Trinidad independence was the 31st of August that same year. The point I'm making here, though, is that we did not plan for independence. We did not ask for independence. We did not plan it. And what convinced me completely that that was not planned anything on our part, I'm not sure about the Trinidad election or what happened when they became independent. But I am very sure of the Jamaican one because I was here, although very young, but I was here. And the most ridiculous thing happened. We went to the polls, independence versus federation. Independence and federation is not mutually exclusive. We could be independent and still be part of the federation, which would have been better for us. But because we didn't have anything to do with the thinking and the putting forth of it, we just took it and the politicians just ran with it. Independence or federation? Why we had to choose? Why couldn't we get independence and still be in the federation? That's a question I would like somebody who have more knowledge of this thing to answer for me. One thing I know, it would not have been good for the British. So they would have been working hard for that not to happen. And I will say now that that probably was the start of an independent process. It definitely was not independence, as we are now finding out. Not even close to being an independent nation. Because the constitutions of the independence from Britain still have the British people totally in charge of us. Not only, the swearing in thing and what we say and all that, but things that are entrenched in our constitution that the British are in charge. Because to my mind, the British set up their system that they will always, no matter what, have control of their colonies. They call them former colonies now, but I don't see the former in it because they are still in charge. The Queen is the head of state, and the Privy Council is still our highest court. And what's amazing in recent times is that we're a part of Britain, and we're a part of the Privy Court. But to get there, we have to ask permission. We have to be given a visa, a travel permit for us to go to the people who are ruling us. I don't think we can get lower than that. We're not even under the table picking up the scraps. That was really, really low. In fact, another thing that came to me at about 1981, I went to Britain. Not to stay in a short holiday, visit some relatives. And the order of the day was get out all black people, send them home, pay them if you have to. And if you remember, during the World War, we were recruited to fight and defend Britain against the Germans. And the Germans could come and go as they please. No questions asked. And we were being kicked out. And when that didn't work, all kind of restrictions that were put on us, the ones who shed blood, sweat and tears to keep Britain as they are now against the Germans, against Hitler. And now the German people are free to come and go. And we still have a problem. So take a good look at that. Now, in 1976, Trinidad became a republic. And at that time, I thought that Trinidad was a republic. I hear about what a republic is. Rule themselves and all that. Only to find out by research that Trinidad Republic is a republic within the Commonwealth. So Britain has put different layers to appease the colonies, but still be in charge of them. One of the biggest jokes I see is when Jamaica a few years ago decided to change their swearing-in ceremony and take out the name of the Queen. So you no longer say, you swear to the Queen. and bear allegiance to the Queen, you say you bear allegiance to Jamaica. And some people thought that was okay. But the next line, the immediate line to follow that in that speech statement, and I bear allegiance to the Constitution. And of course, the Constitution says the Queen is the head of state. So what did we do? Semantics, nothing real. No, I am seeing what we are thinking of doing, or what Barbados is thinking of doing, and Jamaica want to jump on it. And I would imagine when that happens, a lot more Caribbean countries will do. I am saying that is just the second process in independence. We still won't be where we want to be, but we are a little bit further. Where Britain is giving us a little more leeway, a longer rope, as it were, to do some things that we want to do.
So in other words, you're saying we need to get out of the Commonwealth then?
Not necessarily. No, this is the first time in our history that we are charting our course ourselves. At least I think so, for the most part. Now, we have the time to do the proper research and planning. And there's a number of things that we need to know. When we become a republic of the Commonwealth, where does that put our constitution? What do we have to change? We understand that the Queen will not be the head of state anymore. But what about the other organs of the Commonwealth, of the Queen? Will the Privy Council be in place, or that will disappear immediately? Which I don't think top court in Trinidad. So, but we have enough time to plan and see what route we have to take. We have to look and see the countries that we are friendly with, who have been helping us and we have good relationship or whatever, who are part of the Commonwealth. When we become a republic within the Commonwealth, how will that relationship change with all these companies? It will change with Britain, we know that. But let's say a country like Canada, who is still ruled by the Queen, but because Canada is so big and powerful and rich, I don't think they have a problem with the Queen. And they have some major countries that are republics within the Commonwealth, like India and South Africa. These are also very rich countries. But because we are charting our own course now, we don't need to rush anything. And I'm pretty sure there is different ways that you can do it and different agreements. Sorry about that. You can have with Britain to see how you fit within the Commonwealth and what you'll be giving up and what you'll be gaining. I mean, if the information holds out and says that we need to get rid of the Commonwealth completely and become a republic on our own, at least we'll be doing that from an informed position. And we'll know what we're doing, we know what friends we are, we know what the relationship with all these other countries will be. Because this is no longer trust upon us, This is we making our choice now, for the first time. The first time, 2 times, we were kind of bamboozled. And we didn't understand what was happening. And it has taken us 50 plus years to come to that realization that because we weren't the planners, the architect of what happened, we were not in control. And we're still not in control. And we are trying to get in control now. But it should not be a partisan thing like in 1962, 62 in Trinidad or in Jamaica, where elections were run on a party basis. This has to be a country decision. Can we do it? Should we do it? Must we do it? And what is the extent? I would say that we must do it, but we have to plan it's like an event. In an events planning, you have to look at every detail. You can't leave anything up to chance. So we need to sit down as one people and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we can do, and this is what we will get. Now we'll have these discussions with our partners, our neighbors, our friends. When we become a republic within the Commonwealth or without the Commonwealth, will you still speak to us? Will you still trade with us? What difference does that make? Because when you're within the Commonwealth, you might get certain privilege in trading and all that. If you are not in the Commonwealth, then things change. If you are under British rule, it's a different thing from you're under a republic rule, although it's part of the Commonwealth.
So that means we might be alienated by a lot of countries then.
It's possible, not necessarily so. I personally don't think so. But all I'm saying is that we have the opportunity to know these things up front, because we can go to these people and ask them. If we set our timetable, like our Barbados set the timetable for a little over a year, they can set up a team to do all of that now. So when the time comes for them to move, they know exactly where they're going and what they're doing. And every country who want to do something like this must do that. They must, because you chart your own course. Like I said, 50 or 40 or more years that we spend in suspended animation, not coming or going. That ends now. And then the people have to really, the education of the people, because I am seeing where TV station is putting out polls and say, okay, should we be a republic in the Commonwealth or out? But they're not giving the people in the background. They're not telling them what will happen in either case. Them just want them use them brain and, But we need to do more than that. We need to say this is a plan. And the plan reveals that if we are a republic within the Commonwealth, we have these privileges. And these are what we want. We have our neighbors and our trading partners, and they are still with us. They are still on board with us. They have to look also on CARICOM. How will that affect CARICOM? It shouldn't affect CARICOM negatively. It should only make CARICOM stronger. But we have a chance to understand all of this now, up front. We don't have to be thinking and say, oh boy, independence was a mess. Will this be the same? No, because independence, we did not do any planning. We didn't understand what we were getting into. Now, with the experience that we have and the knowledge that we have and the communication skills and technology and all that, we can get all information that we need. All we need to do is to set out a broad plan. And then we start filling the empty spaces, fill them in, and at the end, we'll come up with a total thing, and we can look at it, a total map, and we can look at it and say, yes, this is where we should go. This is where we should have been, but we're not, but we're taking charge now, and we're going here now. We're going, we're dealing with this. Because over time, the Caribbean islands, countries, have been taking little by little things away from the monarch. Let's look at when we discontinued the old GCT thing and set up our own education system, our own certification system. That was a huge step. Because we are no longer under the cover of the British system, where if you want to go to a university, those associations were already in the system, and they have a certain rating. So if you have your GCE or your advanced level, you can move into university, very easily. Now, we had to create our own system and get it approved by all these other educators, these universities and whatever. We have to bring it in line with the British system, although not using their system anymore. So we have been doing things little by little all over the place. What this will do now is bring all of these things together. And of course, a major one would be the court system, which we have, not too long past, we have created the Caribbean Court of Justice. So we have a high-level Caribbean court, which I think can take the place in the privy courts very easily. And I think that's why it was set up. So we are doing these things, pulling ourselves away. But we want to make a big step now. Not these little bites anymore. We want to make a giant step. But the important thing is that we have the knowledge. And like I said, we have been putting other things in place. So the giant step is not so giant, really. And we can deal with it easier because of the other steps that we were taking. So, I think it is very, very critical. It's a very critical time for the Caribbean, and we have to approach it with a very clear mind. In fact, I might suggest also that the Caribbean countries, especially the ones who want to make this step in the near future, come together. Don't necessarily do the planning by yourself. Come together, and even come together with Trinidad and Guyana and get benefits of their experience. So whatever mistakes they made, we can avoid. Because we need to be strong. We need to be strong. And when we do this, another point that we need to look at very, very carefully is the whole idea of banking. Because at the moment we don't control our banking systems at all. Because we are hearing about the Confederation banks, the banks that these Caribbean island banks have to be a part of to do business internationally. So like Jamaican banks, Bajan banks have to have accounts with US banks for the easy flow of money. Barbados say they're going to start the medicinal cannabis industry, which is great. But they have to shore up the banking system. Because in Jamaica, the banking system says if you are in a cannabis business, they will not take your money.
And why is that so?
Because they are following directives from
But isn't
the
that?
US.
But isn't
the
the
US.
cannabis business in Jamaica supposed to be a legal trade too?
Yeah, but it's still not off the ground because it can't get off the ground without banks.
Mm-hmm.
And the American banks that control the Jamaican banks are the flow of money. They said if you accept money from the cannabis industry,
In Jamaica.
legal or not,
Mm-hmm.
we will cut you off. You cannot do business with us. Simple as that. And that's no secret. No secret.
But you see when them become big advocates of marijuana,
Let me tell you.
that them even have the patent on marijuana.
Yeah, some years ago, somebody was telling me about some marijuana business or whatever, and I send the information to a friend of mine, which I won't call him name, but it's somebody that I respect to the greatest level, and he said to me, "No, I will pass on this one because until the US give the go-ahead, nothing will happen." And it's probably 10, 15 years now, and so said, so done, nothing has happened. So all the legalizing and the whole money we spent in Parliament and all that stuff have not come to any fruition. Because the banks abroad control what you do. And they say no marijuana, and they always come with the argument of money laundering. They always say it's important that you protect your country from money launderers. Although it has nothing to do with money laundering. People selling them products, collecting their money, but they want to be in control. They are selling, and they are doing they are planting, selling, doing everything. But we are being stifled. We are the most sought after country for that product in the world. Everybody in Jamaica should be rich by now. But nobody is. Not even the so-called big man. Everybody is cut off. So I am saying that if we look into this republic thing, these are things that we have to make sure that this new status will afford us, that we can enter different arrangement with like banks around the world, because we are still being ruled, governed, whatever, by these people. And if we're going to get out of them, our new status which I would call step 2 in independence. Step 1 we wasted because 50 odd years is a long time. We wasted that trying to get to step 2. And step 2 is not even guaranteed. But what we need to do is the proper planning. And at the same time, we need to start now in our discussions with the monarch. We're not going to wait until the last day and say, well, we're moving out today now. We need to start early in the negotiations with them and the negotiations with all our other partners. So everybody is brought in and we know exactly what will happen when the move is made. And that is very, very, very key to my mind that we do. And it's a major, major step. Major step. I don't think it's something we should be afraid of because by now we know that it's something that we must do. But all I'm saying, do it right. Do it right. Learn from past experience of other people. And make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Especially with our colonizers. Because at times they look like they want to get rid of us, but if you look at how deep their systems are, they never want to lose us.
They can't lose us.
They want to have us in different phases. But they must still be in charge.
So let me ask a question on this is just on the marijuana industry.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a farmers association set up where you have all the planters them come
Yeah,
together.
many of those.
Yeah, where they
Yeah,
come
many-
to the ones them who in the registration of the marijuana thing in Jamaica. How are these guys making out if they cannot export them stuff through the legal channel?
They can't make out. They can't make out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying now. I'm asking the question now. Are you you hear anything on how they're fearing out the association? Is it dismantle or on pause?
I think it's not one of them. It's a whole lot of them, To be frank, I don't think anything is happening.
Because I know in 2013 and 14 around that time when they had I think it was like a bill passed that you could smoke a spliff, etc., etc. I know a couple of them came out against them not. Hold on. A couple of them came out against them not getting their stuff going overseas because of the restriction as to how and what grade they need it to be.
I heard an interview with Dr. Enelo some time ago. He's one of the biggest person in the business. And he said plainly, there's nothing in this thing for the small man. Nothing. The government has managed to legislate out the small man. Simple. And what I don't hear about, at one point in time for a few years, Jamaica was full with all kind of people coming from everywhere, want to be in the business.
It's coming like prohibition.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that again.
It coming like the prohibition when in 1933.
Yeah, I don't know. And nobody quote me, I'm not in the business, but I would imagine that some people would be going back to what they used to do. Because if they don't, they probably would starve. Because what has really happened to us, is that They have stopped us in the track and put us to sit down, you know. We're not making no money.
And we have the best thing in the region.
And we keep it going and keep everything up, and we do up our research and the whole medicinal thing, we do all kind of something. In fact, we even sell them abroad.
Repeat that.
No, I say we have been doing a lot of research in the whole medicine aspect and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that the products that we produce are readily available abroad.
Okay.
In fact, I'm not hearing that it is. But banking is a huge thing for the Caribbean, man. Banking, our hands are tied, to put it mildly. Our hands are tied in so many areas. And banking is one of those areas where the banks don't seem to have freedom. And then the other thing about the banks, CARICOM should have some way or some law that we have a Caribbean banking system.
All of that should have been in place years ago.
Yeah, I should not be leaving Jamaica and going to Barbados. And it's like I'm in a different country. I go to the bank and it's like I'm in China. Should not be. We should have a Caribbean banking system where any bank you go, you can get your business done very easily. Any country, any bank in any country, you should be able to do that very easily. But that is not in place. That is not in place. You realize that if you have a Scotia account and somebody send you some money from abroad to your account, you are being charged a fee, you know, to receive the money into your account, you know. And I think that fee has something to do with the whole money laundering act or something like that.
Oh, based on the amount received.
I think it's a flat thing.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's a flat thing, but I think so. I think it's something about 35 US.
Because it's like Western Union charge you based on, you know, on the amount that you're sending to as well.
Yeah, Western Union charge you based on the service.
If you send money, it depends on the amount. Because remember, them have a limit still, you know, them have a cap how much you can send per day.
I know.
You know.
But what I'm saying to you is Scotiabank now, if you send me $50, I only get 15. $35 gone to the fee.
That's a lot of money.
Oh, you mean a lot of money? I don't know as the amount goes up. I don't know
it
what
doesn't matter if you have an account with them or not.
I am talking about sending money to your account. You have a current account. The account is working and you have money there and everything.
I was asking you a question the other day about the credit union, and you were saying that the credit unions now are now shifting into like a bank, more like a bank role.
I need to investigate properly, but I do not have the feeling that credit unions are how we knew it.
Yeah, because you know that's how we remember it said it work. You get loans, and it based off of how much you have in the account.
What you put in the account, part of it go to shares, so you own piece of the credit union, and the other part go to your savings and whatever, and you get loans based on how much you have, Or if you need more than that, you can get somebody to co-sign for you, all kind of different things. But I am not under the impression that the credit union is working as it used to.
Mm-hmm.
There was a credit union league. I must see if I can find them and ask them to explain to me what is happening with the credit union. But I don't think that they are what they used to. In fact, I don't think they're even as powerful as they used to. First time, every little man has a little credit union account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every little working man getting paid in like some of the credit union. You don't worry about the bank too much. But the credit union, him always have. Even if him have a bank account, him always have him credit union account. Him rainy day account. I'm not sure what is happening with that now. Not sure at all. But what I'm saying to the Caribbean people is this is the first time you are charting your own course. Do a good job. Do a good job. Get all the expertise that you need and do a good job. Because you only have one chance to do it. If you mess it up, it's going to be messed up. If you do a good job, all of us will be happy. And you must always have in mind when you're doing whatever you're doing, when you're taking the decisions, whatever they are, you must have the whole idea of CARICOM in mind. We are too small of islands to be dangling out there by ourselves. No matter what some big guys promise us, we want a block. When you look at the West Indies Federation, that is the first of its kind in the world, you know. That is what people try to replicate all today, the European Union and all these countries.
Mm-hmm.
West Indies was first. Can you imagine if that was allowed to go on? Even CARICOM. If we can get CARICOM working properly and positively, we would have a voice in this world. People couldn't just kick us around. IMF and all these people.
That's the reason why they're not gonna make the West Indies Federation prosper either. Because they want to make sure they have a tight rope on individual countries.
Yeah, because the guy who told them that, them probably execute him.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the greatest things for the West Indies. And not so great for Britain. So they used their trickery and convince us otherwise. Because you see how quickly it was dissolved? And they didn't even say, okay, I think you should dissolve this, you know. They go to two top countries individually and say, you don't think, say, it would be better if you run your own affairs, knowing very well that you're not running no affairs. And them are run their affairs same way. Them are run their affairs same way. Everything you want, you have to ask them same way. You have to use them what them call it now? You have to use them Westminster system that will keep you in debt for the rest of your life. Winner take all. So you can't have no collaboration. All right, look at this scenario now. A government, you have election, a government win. And no one and two people on the losing side are excellent in a certain area. Don't you think you should be able to go and say, you're on that side, you know, but we need you on this side for the country? You don't think they should be able to do that?
Mm-hmm. So what? The federation only lasts for like what? From 58 to 62?
61, yeah. Yep. But two remarkable institutions survive all the going-ins and going out.
Which do that?
West Indies cricket and the University of the West Indies.
Okay.
They never faltered. They stayed true to the full Caribbean thing up to today. And you can see how powerful they are. University of the West Indies is a major university in the world. West Indies cricket ruled the world for a long time. So we need to get back more institutions like those on board and build back the CARICOM. Build back the CARICOM. But I think a major part of the whole CARICOM thing is to actually find a way to work out a financial system for the Caribbean. Because that's one of the problems, you know.
We have to get somebody from one of the institutions.
Oh yes,
to tell us more.
I've been working on that the rest of the week.
To tell us more about these things.
No, yeah, we need good information. I am just all these points.
I know that.
Everybody, everybody can pick it up and they don't agree with me or if they agree with me or if they have more information, bring it out so we in the Caribbean know exactly where we are, what we should do, what we should not do, And we have to realize also that the US is part of us. And that will never change because the US is part of the Caribbean. Like where you live touches the Caribbean Sea. So the whole thing, we have to look at all of these things and we have to put good treaties and good arrangements in place. So if we can put those in place without having to ask permission from England, I think we would be in a better place. I think we'd be in a much better place. I'm not saying we should get rid of England completely, but we have to know what we're doing. We have to know what we're doing. But whatever we work out, the benefit must be for us. There's no time for the middle of the road thing. Okay, we are compromised. No compromise. They did not compromise with us. They took it all. They're not going to give us back anything because we've been fighting for so many years to try and get reparation or whatever. And they are saying, forget about that. But what we want to do is not give anymore. Use what we have to build us. That's what needs to happen. We need to build us.
Well, we have 2 points that we need to get some expert to talk to us about. None. It's the full independence, us becoming a full independent country, and the banking system.
Oh yes.
Caribbean.
Oh yes. I think CARICOM was a banking unit,
I know. You had read out one morning, and did you know about some institutions, like it's 9 institutions within the CARICOM?
No, man, it's not 9. It's up like 20 other.
Whatever. But I know it was among the institutions. Banking is in it as well.
Get in touch with that banking association.
Well,
I hear what they have to say.
With that, we come to the end,
Oh yes.
Another podcast.
Wonderful.
So Gonna just round up. I give you the break. Go ahead and round up.
Well, thank you, listeners, for this morning and listening to me. I hope you can give me some feedback, please, of what I've been saying. You know, if it's pure hogwash or whatever, what are your thoughts? Very important. Then we move to the COVID thing. All I can say is the same R&D. We need to have respect and we need to be disciplined because the COVID is still here among us and it's not doing well with us at all. So we cannot just say, we cannot give up the fight. So we have to deal with that. And then we're going to speak about tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a very special guest. In fact, one of our team members, a brilliant young lady, brilliant in the arts, in graphics and arts, you know, one of the major players in the pantomime of Jamaica, among other things, for many, many years. Knows a lot about the cultural landscape of the Caribbean. And I might say she's a real Caribbean woman. So please join us tomorrow as she tells us a lot of stuff that we definitely don't know and should know about the Caribbean and the whole culture and where it's going, where it's coming from, what we have achieved over the years, things like that. Yes, sir.
Well, for always, we know we get good guests. Not every now and then, but every week.
Oh, yeah.
We have, the best of the best coming to you. So continue listening to be a part. Subscribe, like, share, and of course, ring the bell. Click the bell so you get your notification as soon as our live broadcast start. So, as always, take care of yourself, your loved one. Always remember, yes, prayer changes things. Regardless of what religion you belong to, you must pray and continue to pray. So this is Franco along with
Flavius.
Wishing you a pleasant morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Tafina to take us out.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know set me if it go flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. Me I fi take away myself. I fi take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Shorty I cleave your eyes. I said, yeah. I find you very hard to resist. But this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. Me I feel take away myself. Me I feel take away myself. Me I feel hide like a thief in the night. Me I feel get out of sight. Me I feel take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize I will. Show the eye a clean pair of heels. I said, been there, done that, don't need it again, yeah. I'm not the
Well,
master, guess who won't
unfortunately, this is it. Till next
Oh, you
time.
move your body
Bless.
way to the core. Sayonara, the hot girl gone through the door. Take away ourselves. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Say no goodbye, girl, let me take me ourselves. Take me ourselves. No goodbye, girl, let me take me
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.